Hi, welcome to Faith, Friendships, and Fun with Les. And today I get my husband Jeffrey near me, and we are going to continue on a great conversation that we had about what does it look like. We were addressed and talked about letting God into our heart or opening the door to Him. But we just want to kind of continue and share a little bit more along that subject.
Yes, our darling camera girl
Yes.
asked us to try to explain what it means to have a conversation with God when we invite Him in. And what does that look like?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we can answer that perfectly, but at least from our perspective, we can give you some idea how it works for us. So.
Yeah, sometimes when I think about it, opening or when stand at the door and knock and seek, and people just, it's not a religiously looking thing. It can be for some people. Everybody's a little different. But what you're really doing is you're seeking, and then God can just show you in a bazillion different ways. Throughout our many years walking with Him, it looks so differently. But initially, what would you say initially when you think about that? Like you said, you knew, hey, I don't want to do this because I don't want to miss out on the fun out there. That's real. That happens. And at the same time, then He keeps with you, or maybe it's something that's just happened tragically to you, and then you just kind of like woke up, and you're just like going, okay, I hear you. I want you. I need you.
Right.
It can be just so many different ways.
So many different ways. I don't think there is just one way that He speaks to us, and there's not one way that we speak to Him. But for me, it's really about including Him in my day, the challenges of my day, and then allowing Him and trusting that He's going to give me clarity. Because sometimes my work is complicated, and I don't know how to do everything in my work. But when I ask for help from the great carpenter, then all of a sudden ideas come into my mind. And then my thoughts I find clarity in my thoughts. So that's one of the ways I know that He's speaking to me. And I also know that He's an extravagant giver, and He likes to give. And we talked about Him turning water into wine. Why would He do something so extravagant like that? It's because He loves to give. He longs to give to us, right? And all we have to do is ask.
And I think the world out there, that when they hear about Jesus and having a relationship, I think they just get over, either they've been brought up churched or with a law, or what it's going to look like. I'm not going to say anything to the negative, because sometimes it's super real, all these steps that they've done, and they have a beautiful friendship and a relationship with our Lord. But sometimes it's those people that out there like going, it's just that seeking, like, I don't know what else to do. If you're really there, you said that, you did that. And it initially there, you've asked Him in your heart. It's initially, you can go to prayer, you can be by yourself, you can be with friends, you can go to a church building, you can do lots of different things to say, I want to be your kid. Watch TV show, something comes on, it strikes you, but there's a softening, there's a breaking, there's a something like, whew, and it hopefully something with just I got right now is a little holy goosebumps. They just kind of like shiver up and just go, wow, you're really there, Lord. Because Holy Spirit lives in us. If we ask Him to open that door, all of a sudden, our God promised He is going to give to us His counselor, His comforter, and His director of wisdom. So when we're, like you said, seeking it at work, or like myself as a server, there might be times that I'm just like, well, there are times, many times actually, but sometimes it's going around the corner and just saying Jesus, or just going around the corner doing a fist up, or sometimes it's just humbly going, why am I so full of me right now? And as soon as you do that, acknowledge how much is all about me, and turning it up, like I like to just say, and turning it to Thee, to turning it up to my Creator, all of a sudden there's just filling. So I think we're on maybe a few different ways of looking at this, but they're all applicable.
Right. A number of years ago, someone gave us what was called a God box. So in other words, when a prayer has been answered, throw a note into that box as a reminder of all the things that He's helped you through. And this is one of the ways that He communicates with us. When we bring our concern and we know that we've been helped, we can sense it. That's one of the ways He communicates with us. He's showing us, look, you pray, You pray with faith. You pray with expectation. I'm going to take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, now you just have to work through everything with confidence. And at the end of the day, or end of the week, or the end of the year, or whatever, you'll be able to see how he assisted, how he helped, and how that conversation that you were having, thinking maybe it was only one-sided, is not.
Right.
It's not one-sided at all.
Yep.
So you have to learn to listen and see what he's doing and what he's saying to you by the things that transpire in your life.
And I think too, Jeffers, is sometimes along this line, people then they'll do it like, oh, this is crazy. Is something even happening here? Or they'll go quickly into like a fear, like the lack of faith, right? Because that's two different paths. That's where your brain can go, fear or to faith. But interesting, I just learned, or I guess I knew it, but you know, how many of us have doubts? I would guess pretty much everybody, but doubt is a form of fear. So that doubt happens. It comes up like, how can that happen? Or how am I going to get enough money to get that? Or that relationship is, I don't even know if I'll ever give it back. You know, like this doubt, this fear, this heaviness. Oh, perfect time to just go, oh wait, what should I do? You're now again going to the opening the door, right? You're like, help me here. Isn't it amazing when we do that, what happens?
Totally.
Yeah, and we've seen it so many times over, but I love what you said about the God box, or I often talk and share about journaling, or just write it down.
You're a great journaler. And we've got journals stacked up to the ceiling, and it'd be fun to go through all of them again, and you've got everything every day, you know, recorded of things that have taken place in our life, you know, the daily things, and then all the extraordinary things, and the sad things, and the hopeful things, and then you can kind of see through all those pages, you know, how God has really helped us.
Yes.
You know, how he's really been a big part of our life.
Yeah, and I look what you said in the journaling side. It's some of us out there are so good at, like, now I've had life. I mean, it happens. It gets busier and busier, or I hate that word, but it just gets full, right? And then it shifts. The next chapter, now, like we were busy parenting, shift over. You know, we're always gonna parent, but it's a different look, you know, our works, little different kinds of things. But in that shift, now listen really careful, because God's got something extraordinary for us to do next. But we have to seek him. Right. We have to ask him. And then what parent wouldn't want to just bless your socks off, like you said? We have this extravagant God who there's nobody should be out there doubting that he wants to bless your socks off. It just shouldn't be a doubt.
Exactly, and try to stay away from confidence in your own ability to be good or good enough, because it's not about that. Okay,
Never.
It's not about that. It's about his concern for us, his desire for us, and how much he loves us.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Okay, it's not about how good you are. Don't let that get in the way. Okay, that's not what this is about. I can tell you for sure that when you do invite him in, you don't become religious. You don't have to start following a set of rules to try to get things right. Yeah. What we discovered is that when we invite him in, the things that a person should be doing with their life, you just naturally do it. You're naturally doing it because you want to. Yeah,
and things will just drop off from your life, the things that aren't really according to God's will and his best. I mean, he never wants to strip something out of our life that isn't going to be for our very best. And it'll look different, maybe in your 20s or 40s, or now in our 60s. It looks different for certain. Sometimes I just needed to do something a little different so that I could have this. But the beautiful part is that seek, right? Seek. That's our, you know.
Yeah, and there is a promise. Those who seek me will find me.
Yeah.
So that's an important component in this. If you want to find God, you got to seek him. Seek him with all your heart. Yep. That's a promise. You will find him if you do that. And then there again, there's the difference maker.
Yeah,
you know, letting him in, seeking him. You know, it's not complicated stuff. It's not religious. There's not a bunch of rules that we need to follow here. It's really just about seeking him and then allowing his goodness just flow through you, and you'll just be doing really cool things.
And it's
without
to his
even
glory.
Trying.
And it's to his glory.
Exactly.
Just as we get to share, hopefully, with you the words to encourage, to comfort, and to challenge. And you come join us the next time too. Have a beautiful day.